Welcome back. You are tuned into your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on S3. Wonderful to be in your company this morning. Now, ahead of World Disability Day, celebrated on the 3rd of December, we bring awareness on a global initiative that celebrates the resilience, the achievements and contributions of people with disabilities, or like we like to call it, differently abled. Now, joining us today is ambassador and co-founder of Walking with Brandon, Brandon Beek, who has a special story to share with us this morning. And Brandon, it's wonderful to have you. How are you feeling, my friend? We are standing at this part of the year. I can't believe it.
I know, it's been quite a big year.
Yeah, and lots happening. But I mean, there's a big day coming up, World Disability Day on the 3rd of December. And I want to start off with just for you to share some of your personal experiences that kind of highlights the challenges with regards to inclusivity and accessibility for somebody that lives with a disability.
Well, I was never born with a disability, so I guess I've experienced both sides, where I was 16 at the time of my accident. I'm now 28, that's 11 years later.
Sure.
And I broke my neck doing gymnastics. And in an instant, I went from being this athletic child to, being a quadriplegic. I couldn't use my hands, I could hardly use my arms, and in an instant, my life changed, and I thought that everything was over, and majority of people with disabilities often think the same. And my journey over the past 11 years has been so eye-opening to another way of life, that firstly, life isn't over if you have a disability. There are still so many opportunities that you have and that you can have, but you've got to go out and find those opportunities and make those opportunities. Yeah. But on the other side of the coin, it comes down to society and how accessible society is for those with disabilities. Are facilities accessible? Are programs inclusive to people with different abilities? And it's just been eye-opening to actually walk this journey, living with a disability and seeing how many people there are out there surrounding us who just you don't see, and they don't get the same opportunities as most people do.
Yeah. Listen, thank you very much, first and foremost, for sharing your story with us. And it is incredibly inspiring to see that you took something that happened to you and you put a positive spin on it, because it really depends on how you look at your situation. And you mentioned society as well, and with a big day like World Disability Day looming as well, societal awareness. What can that mean? I mean, this is really the importance of this day if we talk about inclusivity and accessibility.
It comes down to education. The importance of a day like this is it's an opportunity for us to share our experiences, and an opportunity for us with disabilities to educate society in what our needs are, what our rights are, what our requirements might be, and how society can assist us in making the surroundings more inclusive. Yeah. If it's things like ramps or things like lifts or ways to make a program more inclusive, these are all ways to give those disabilities opportunities. And just to also show that someone with a disability can be a part of society. Yeah. They can play a role, they can have a job, they can have a family, they can be an athlete.
Absolutely.
They can live a happy, successful life if they're just given the opportunity. And that's something that I've strived to do through the Walking with Brandon Foundation. So we aim to empower people with disabilities through physical activity and peer support, to give them the tools whereby they can find their independence and empower themselves and show others that they can actually be their best possible self.
Absolutely, and just listening to how you put that and how you lay it out for us, I mean, you can understand how important an awareness day like World Disability Day really is, but it also has been nice to see how big corporations and companies, almost create that space as well within their own businesses, but we still have a long way to go.
Definitely.
So some of those actionable steps, like you've mentioned, I mean, ramps, just to make sure that there is that feeling of inclusivity, but for this year where you are standing right now, what still needs to happen? What actionable steps do the public still need to take, or society?
I think in order to know the steps that need to be taken, things need to be done with us. and not for us.
For us, yes.
I think that's the overarching theme.
Yeah.
And people need to ask us, ask individuals with disabilities, okay, what are your needs? What are your requirements? Help us, give us a guiding hand through this. Here's our space. What are some limitations? I've had people approach me on many occasions for their guest houses or their buildings and facilities, and they ask, how can we make this more accessible?
Okay.
And something as small as the type of handle or the way a door swings or the angle of the floor or all of these things. And often people think that it's expensive, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive. It's
just a
often
different way of thinking.
It's just a different way of thinking. It's small changes, and those small changes can go a long way. So the overarching theme for me is don't be scared to ask, because that's how you learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once you learn, then you know going forward that you can open your world up to so many more other individuals with disabilities.
Just about sparking those conversations, man.
So
We
ask
should be.
questions
Ask
and
those
learn
questions.
and share.
Brandon, thank you very much. We are not quite done yet. You've got a little obstacle course prepared for myself as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Stick around. More with Brandon in just a bit.